Well, it's official. The Boys is finally over. And in my opinion, the season did not go out with a bang nor a whimper. It was honestly hit with a mid. A mid out of 10. Yeah, it was not the best season. Honestly, out of the entirety of the 5 seasons that they've had, this was probably the most middle grounds, which it should not have been, in my opinion. Your series finale should be the most action packed season of the entire show. Yet there was a lot of things that they fell flat on. And while the direction of the season wasn't necessarily bad, because we did get an overall good conclusion, we did get good scenes out of the fights that we did get from Homelander, the Deep, Soldier Boy, and a couple other people like Butcher and whatnot. There was just a lot of miscommunication as far as what they wanted to do with the actual plot of the show. And I think that caused them to miss the mark on many things, as well as they left a lot of things unanswered and opened. They kind of pulled a Stranger Things season 5 with that, how they just left a couple of things unanswered and just didn't bother to actually take notice in the final cut of them, or just didn't care to interact with them at all. Like they're not answering any questions as far as that, which I always find to be a little shallow. I mean, it's your final season. I understand that you want to wrap things up and get to the main points. You know, you've been building up a lot of tension throughout the season and you're trying to settle things over. That completely makes sense. However, you don't add in points that are going to be of significance in the series just for them to have no actual significance. If they're not, like, for example, my biggest take on the end of season 5, the series finale fight, spoilers by the way, this is going to get into spoilers if anybody hasn't seen the video yet. um the final fight scene between Butcher and Huey. Butcher says that he's already armed the sprinkler system with. Sorry, my Siri just went off. Butcher says that he's already armed the sprinkler system with the virus, and that it could go off whenever he turns the switch. Now, of course, Huey kills him, and we're just supposed to believe that everybody's okay. But it's never explicitly stated that Huey found the virus in the sprinkler system and removed it, or that he told Vought about it. For Christ's sake, which why would he tell Vought about it if they're the people that we don't want to have the virus in the first place? That being said, there's just a huge plot point missing as far as whatever happens with the virus. Like if there's for some reason a fire that goes off in Vought, everybody is dead. All the superheroes die within a couple days, according to Butcher. It goes airborne, and everybody's dead within a week. Everybody who's a superhero, and it's like that. That is just a huge plot point that they failed to even address at the end of the sequence. And it's just like that is very significant, because that virus we spent 6 episodes working on trying to create, so it was strong enough to kill Homelander. And unfortunately, it wasn't strong enough to kill him in the end, nor Soldier Boy. But every other soup that doesn't have V1, which is like 99% of all the other soups in the world, would die from that virus if it ever got out. And apparently it's just roaming around the public. That's just mind-boggling to me, how they just left that point out. They just refused to touch it, but that's completely fine. Um Another thing that I kind of took issue with was Homelander himself. I mean, he's supposed to be this extremely powerful badass this season. I mean, even before he got the V1 compound, they were teasing the entire time how he was going to be this ruthless maniacal baby, or sorry, this ruthless maniacal evil person, but instead he's this baby who sits in Vought Tower the entire time, just having people do shit for him. Like the scariest time I think we see him throughout the entire season is when he flies fake Elon Musk into the sky, and he's like, "Oh, he's an astronaut. I took him to space." That was honestly pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty cool, as well as when he just straight up like proclaim that he was God in front of Soldier Boy. I guess that was cool. I mean, it's kind of megalomaniacal, but it fits for his character. Like, I was hoping that we would have seen more of that and him lead more into that. Like, I was really hoping for way more destruction on the side of Homelander, as that's what happened in the comics. Like, he goes crazy insane in the comics and just starts destroying shit because of how insane, evil, and megalomaniacal he is. Like, but in this show, he's, even from a couple seasons ago when he was way more insane and just like out of control with what he did, lasering people left and right whenever he got upset and whatnot, like what we saw in season 3. He is way more tamed in season 5, the final season where he should be his most amped. Especially once he gets the Compound V, it feels like he gets nerfed a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. There are a couple scenes in the final fight in the White House where he's flying incredibly slow. Like, it takes him seconds, like literal seconds, to cross the room. Meanwhile, I just talked about he flew a guy to space in less than a minute and was back. Like, why is he in peak performance when he's intimidating people, and then when he's actually fighting for his life, he's just like he's just like a toddler, dude. And that brings me to another point. I will say I loved the final sequence between Homelander and Butcher once he loses his powers. I think Anthony Starr did a really good job of highlighting what everybody thought Homelander would be like. He is a sniveling, dried up baby that doesn't know how to do anything except just be an evil version of a human being. Like, and as soon as he gets his power stripped away from him, he's just a toddler, dude. Like, he's flailing his arms. He's literally like, I'll suck your dick, I'll eat my own shit on camera. Like, please just let me live. Like, that shit, I think, was so well written because, quite honestly, how else would Homelander have acted? I mean, like, would Homelander was the worst person that anybody could have ever created. Like, he was super demanding as far as how his own personal image was perceived. He needed to be loved, he needed to be adored by people, and it destroyed him in the end. And when he couldn't be loved, he was feared. When he couldn't be feared, he killed. And when he couldn't kill anymore, he started groveling like a little bitch, man. Honestly, so well written, and that I don't have any complaints for. But it's just like there are a couple other things that I could complain about. I'm not going to go super far into because they're honestly very minor points. But I will just say things like Sister Sage. I think they kind of just forgot what to do with her at the end of the day. Like, they were building her up in season 4 to be somebody actually very powerful. Like, we have this person who's 10 steps ahead of us at this point. How are we ever going to beat her? Which, it is a very good topic to explore. Like, when they did that in The Flash with the Thinker in season 4, I thought it was amazing. Personally, that was one of my favorite seasons because the Flash had to go outside the box and not fight this enemy in his traditional combat. Like, he had to obtain new knowledge, he had to like learn about new shit, he actually had to change his thinking. And it's like we could have seen that as far as The Boys, which would have either amplified season 5 even more or would have actually led to better significance for the plot points that have huge holes in them in season 5, because of the fact that Sister Sage is always 10 steps ahead. Like, but they completely fell apart with her. I mean, the fact that she's not able to predict love, I think, is just such a cliche writing moment of a super smart character. I mean, even Reed Richards, the smartest man in the universe, is capable of love. Like, I don't understand how she doesn't get it, but yet he can. It's so indescribable how that is just a cliche writing mark for the smartest person in the world type character. And it's just it really fell flat with her because at the end of the day she loses her powers and becomes extremely stupid. So what was the whole point of hyping her up and having her be this big bad guy in season 4 if she wasn't actually going to do anything? She did not contribute jack shit. If you want to say the radiation blast that she helped Frenchie tweak the numbers with, I mean, that was a good thing because Kimiko ended up getting the radiation blast. But it's like that was the one thing she did before nothing. Like, and before that, it was more nothing. I don't understand what the purpose of her character was. It really makes no sense at the end of the day. Point being, there was a lot of things that fell flat in season 5 of The Boys. I think it was very mid compared to the rest of the seasons. Honestly, I think it goes season 3, season 4, season 2, or season 3, season 4, season 1, season 5, season 2. Yes. Yeah, I'll go with that order. Um I liked how the Deep died. I liked how Oh Father died. I thought that that was pretty cool. I was really upset when Firecracker died. They actually made me feel bad for her, which I enjoy cuz she was a piece of shit, but I did end up feeling bad for her in the end of that episode. And god, I just hate how they did Black Noir, man. Like, ugh, I don't even want to talk about that because I'm sure that's been talked about so many times on the internet already. Just, he's bulletproof and he got stabbed by his own knife, as well as he got choked out with a cord. What? I'll just leave that there. Overall, I'd rate the season like a solid 6.8 out of 10. It was not the best. It was not the worst. It just did not hit as many marks as they wanted it to and as it should have for for the series finale. That being said, I am very excited to see Vought Rising. I am going to watch that just because it is the prequel to The Boys, as well as I may check out The Boys Mexico. I don't speak Spanish, but it may be a good chance to practice my Duolingo skills. So yeah, I'll once I start watching those, I'll probably do some more videos on how those feel and what those shows are like, if they're good shows to watch. But yeah, if there's anything else that anybody wants me to review, please let me know. I'd love to hear more suggestions in the comments because I need more TV and shows to watch. So yeah, just let me know. But thank you for watching and have a great day.